Welcome to this edition of the BRSN Insider. I'm sitting down with softball coach Paul Hunt. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Dakota.
You guys took a trip down to Cocoa Beach, Florida over spring break, played 8 games in 4 days, went 7-1 on the trip. What were your thoughts on the trip as a whole?
You know, it was really just nice to get out and know that we're going to play. You know, this time of the year in Kansas, it can be a little hit or miss. And then putting back-to-back days of doubleheaders gets to be a little much. But I was really happy with the way the girls stayed within themselves and just played our game. Did the job we need to do down there.
What did you take away from that trip? What was the most important thing you took away?
You know, the biggest thing happens off the field. You know, it's kind of a long travel, and you make that. We made it as a road trip. To be honest with you, I don't think I'd want to have it any other way. Some of the players might disagree with me right now, but that team bonding that happens on that trip is just phenomenal, and it gave us a lot of chances to work different rotations and to see different lineups put together.
Yeah.
But really, our pitching staff, and this kind of carried in once we got into conference play as well, our pitching staff's just been doing a really nice job. It has really been the basis of what's led to our early success.
And you guys came back. You guys played a very good Baker team, dropped 2 against them. What did you learn from that?
Well, really, we got to tip our hat for the day. Their pitching staff kept our hitters completely off balance. You know, we're excited to see them again. You know, the difference in talent and ability wasn't quite what the scoreboard shows at the end of that day. And we definitely have that date starred to get them back on our campus.
And then you guys split with MNU, 5-1, 3-0. Aaron Zebarth, really good again.
Yeah, you know, we should knock on wood and be safe somewhere, but you know, she just keeps coming out and having strong performance after strong performance. It's really nice when you have somebody you can go to and say, hey, this is the true ace of our program, and she's taken that role really well. So.
And then yesterday, 2 very exciting games against Missouri Valley. Won the first one in extra 7-6. Take us through that one.
Well, you know, that one, first off, really proud of our girls to stay resilient. You know, we kind of had a couple of mental oopses early that gave up 4 unearned in the first 2 innings. And really proud that we didn't let that moment become too big for our group.
Yeah.
To have our hitters stay patient through their approaches and to continue to do the job they need to do. And good heads-up base running. I can't say enough. Lily Ross taking a couple of extra bases when she had good reads and good opportunities. That put us in positions to where you know, a little ground ball up the middle can do the job.
Because there was that time when she got on base, I believe that was the time she got on base and ended up scoring the run. She drew the walk and then ended up taking second right after because nobody was paying attention to her.
Absolutely. You know, she's one thing really about our whole group in particular is the softball IQ is very high. We spend a lot of time on base running, but we can't even take credit from our program from that. We have to say these players that have come in, especially newcomers into our program, between either freshmen or our transfers that have come in and really have stepped up and helped us elevate. They're always looking for that next base and that next opportunity, and if you give them an inch, they're going to go take that mile. So.
Okay, so this weekend you travel to Evangel and then back home on Sunday against CMU. What's it like having to make a trip one day and then come back and having to play again? You
know, it's going to be a little bit interesting there. You know, it's you know, a little bit more traditionally. If you go on the road, you get a couple of days on the road and get a weekend at home. The challenge for that, especially going down to Springfield, which is about 3.5 hours down from here, is to have a day of rest. How quick can we get back here, get some rest, and turn around and play Sunday and play a really good CMU team on Sunday, which right now they're looking like the favorites in the South of the conference. And that's one of the things that really attracted me to the Heart of America, and it gets me excited about being in the Heart, is top to bottom, teams can play. It's very exciting.
What's the outlook for the rest of you just talked about it. What's the outlook for the rest of the conference as of right now?
You know, right now, I kind of feel like for us, we need to just focus on taking care of ourselves in-house. You know, between Baker's hot start and you know, Grandview's always top up in the north.
Yeah.
They're really tough with Claudia up on the mound. They've got a senior there that's really a standout, and it's going to be really fun. I think the name of the rest of our conference trip and for us is to make the routine plays be routine and stay within ourselves.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
You betcha. Thanks for having me.
Benedictine College softball coach Paul Hunt on the BRSN Insider.
Shakespeare once said, "Some are born great, and some have greatness thrust upon them." The rest of us, he said, have to achieve greatness. We know exactly what he means. Be not afraid of greatness. Achieve it. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.
Back on this edition of the BRSN Insider, I'm sitting down with wrestling coach Marcus Cobbs. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You guys had your national tournament, and Austin Roper finished fifth at 149 pounds. Your thoughts on that, and kind of take us through what he did up in Des Moines.
Well, it's exciting, obviously, to bring home another All-American. Austin had a great tournament. Just to give you a little idea of how the tournament went, first round, we had a little upset, and he ended up getting pinned with literally 1 second left on the clock. It was one of those situations where we threw out the challenge block. It was a good, even the official said it was a good challenge and that they take a look at it. It just didn't go our way, and ultimately his run for the championship was gone, but that didn't stop him from rattling off a bunch of other wins. And so he had several matches that he had won by bonus points as far as pins, which actually helped a lot as far as putting the team into higher rankings at the national tournament. And so, but ultimately he wrestled back. I mean, you lose that first round match, that's a long road back to All-American status. So it was a pretty long day for not just myself, but mainly him, obviously going through those matches. We didn't know that he would be an All-American until about 7 p.m. Friday night. And so he stepped up and had a great tournament. You know, I've seen a lot of guys that fall down and don't get back up from a situation like that. Austin rose to the occasion and still brought him that All-American status.
What does that say about him after dropping that first round match? He could have very easily just not wanted it anymore. What does that say about him going out and getting an all?
I mean, that just shows you how much heart he has and his pride. And then at the end of the day, it's for himself, but he knows he's out there representing the institution, and so he's going to do his most to put the best name out there for us as well. And so, you know, he understands that wrestling, we lose some, we win some. It's about what we do during those losses, though, that makes us the man that we're going to be today. And so he's willing to step up to any obstacle, and if it gets in his way, he'll knock it down. And so he saw some obstacles at nationals, but was able to get over them.
You had 3 other guys compete: Alex Gomez, Keenan Graff, and Josh Romero. What did you think of those guys' performance?
Keenan Graff, freshman, you know, first time at the national tournament, true freshman, had a great showing. I believe he went 2-2 at the tournament, and so that's always awesome to see from a freshman. Alex Gomez and Josh Romero not so much had the tournament that I expected. With that being said, they just ran into some great competition. Gomez, for example, the guy he lost to first round was the runner-up at the national tournament, and then the guy he lost to in the wrestlebacks took 7th. And so he went 0-2, but he lost to 2 All-Americans in that route. And so, you know, I appreciate everything that these guys have done, but, you know, they know that it's not done. And for those seniors, they know that what they've learned through this program and through this sport, that it's going to take them further than those medals in their hands being raised. It's going to take them and make them better men in life. So,
you finished 25th as a team. What were your thoughts on that?
You know, we wanted to be higher. Obviously, dropping those matches hurt us a little bit. Right before the match to decide if Austin Roper goes to the 3rd and 4th place match or the 5th and 6th place match, we were sitting at 21st, and we were literally winning that match, and we lost with 45 seconds to go, and so that kind of knocked us down a little bit. But you know what, to stay in the top 25, you know, out of 54, 55 teams is always great, especially once again with the holes we had all of season and taking only 4 guys to nationals. Finish 25th is still great and bring home one All-American.
You completed your first year. What were your thoughts on your first year here as a whole?
I enjoyed every bit of it. Just very grateful to have the guys that I had in this wrestling room and on this program. They worked their tails off, and they went above and beyond what I expected of them. You know, obviously with the holes, you know, right now we're focusing on recruiting and trying to fill those holes that we're missing so that we can not only just take guys to national championship, we can compete for that national championship.
And what are you looking at next year? What guys you're bringing in?
Well, you know, we're looking to bring in about 20 to 30 new guys. Once again, we're building the program. We're thin this year, but I guess to kind of go with the Cobbs era of wrestling, we're building a program with the guys that I'm looking to bring in, the guys that I believe will make Benedictine the best team in the country.
And I know it's really early, but your expectations for next year?
to be competitive, have fun, and continue to watch these guys grow and bring in guys that are willing to grow.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Benedictine College Wrestling Coach Marcus Cobbs on the BRSN Insider.
A wise man once said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." Discover what you were made for. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.
Back on the BRSN Insider, I'm sitting down with track and field coach Henry Brun. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Went down to Pittsburgh for the national meet. Came back with one All-American. Maddie Minner finished 6th in the pentathlon. Your thoughts on that?
It was an interesting experience. We go down there, and it's her first year doing the pentathlon. This was her 3rd time doing the pentathlon ever. And she was ranked 4th going into the meet.
Yeah.
The people who were ranked above her had a wealth of experience. Chelsea Baker, who ended up winning the national championship, was the front runner from the beginning. So we knew going in there that we had to set the tone with some of the stronger events that she had, such as the hurdles. Event 1 was the hurdles. She had a personal best in the hurdles. She broke the school record in the hurdles. So it set her top 5 going into event number 2.
Yeah.
Then we went into high jump. High jump's one of those events where we just started really working on that this year. So it's a new event to her. She had a personal best in that. There are some pretty competitive high jumpers within the pentathlon at the national level. So it kind of dropped her down to that 8th place spot after 2 events. We went into the shot put. Shot put is not her strong event at all. So we struggled a little bit there, and we dropped out of the top 8 after 3 events until 11th place. At that point in time, we knew there was the long jump and the 800, 2 of her stronger of the 5 events. So we had a little talk with her about knowing that this is our time to really break through in the long jump. And we definitely did. We went out there. She finished, I think, out of the 16 women, she was 3rd or 4th in the long jump. She broke the school record in the long jump. And she moved from 11th to 6th place in that one event.
Oh, wow.
Then going into the final event, we finally told her what place she was in because she had no idea until the final event, and we did it on purpose. And to solidify that placing, we told her that we really needed to work on this 800. She's new to the 800 as well, only ran it a couple times. And her season best going into the meet was 227 or 228. And we gave her some splits that would be a little bit faster than what she had run all season, and she definitely exceeded expectations. She ran 222.1 in the final event. She finished 3rd in the 800 overall and finished 6th as a whole. So we were really happy with that. She had personal best in 4 out of the 5 events. She broke 3 school records as a whole in the pentathlon, the hurdles, the long jump. She was an All-American. Her family was able to come from Idaho to watch her, which was amazing. And we knew that there's a lot of work still that's got to get done for the heptathlon outdoors, but the body of work that we've put in so far, we've been extremely rewarded for it.
And Kashonda Rose also competed in the 60 to 200 and set personal best in both of those.
Yeah, that was nice because for her, this is the 2nd time going to the national championship. She went last spring, and it was very scary of an experience for her. She was nervous when we went out to Gulf Shores, and we ran okay, but we could have done better. The nerves weren't there at all this time around, which was nice. And she knew that it'd be tough going in, ranked, 21st, 22nd to do, well enough to be a top 8 finisher, but we knew that we were on the outside looking in. She had 2 phenomenal races in the 60 and the 200, broke both the school records, 2 personal bests, finished within the top 18 on both sides, which is great. And it puts her in a position for outdoors where I honestly think that she can go to nationals again in the 100 and the 200 and be able to come home with some hardware and be an All-American her senior year outdoors. So,
what were your thoughts on the indoor season as a whole?
I was very, very happy with how we performed. We brought in a good freshman class on the men's and women's side. We set some high expectations of how we wanted to finish at conference. We were able to accomplish a lot of the things that we wanted to. With the culture of the team, with gaining some experience, with seeing some performances, with establishing some leaders within the program. And then, when you're looking at results and you talk about how well we did at the conference level, even within our own team level, we broke 11 school records this indoor season. And coming home with 5 school records at the national meet and an All-American to cap it all off, knowing that we get a month until outdoor. Like we were, all of us, the coaching staff, the athletes, very, very pleased in where we were.
You start your outdoor season on March 31st at Baker. What are your expectations for the outdoor season?
Well, starting with Baker. Baker's Easter weekend, so a lot of the athletes aren't going to be there. So we'll have about half of our team there, and I kind of just want to pick up where we left off. We took a little bit of time after conference, in between conference and nationals, for a lot of the athletes that weren't going to nationals to rest and reset, so that we don't burn out come outdoor season. And this week we really picked it up after spring break, just to see where we're at and see if we can continue the success that we've had. And we've definitely done that. This next weekend, actually, before Baker, we're taking 5 of our multi-athletes to Northwest Missouri State for their first multi. Because of how well we did indoors. We looked at an opportunity to be able to compete early outdoors to see what we can do and see if we can get some national qualifying marks early on in the season for them. But Baker is definitely a meet where we're going to be able to see some conference competition, some regional competition, and get some good marks in. And then we're kind of just going to go from there because there's some really good meets we're going to go to. We have our eye on a couple different relays, a couple individual events, some multi-athletes who are on that bubble almost right away to try to get to the national championships, and we're going to see what we can do. And then at the conference level, we're trying again, be top 3 finishes, and see if the women can win that conference title.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
I appreciate it.
Benedictine College track and field coach Henry Brun on the BRSN Insider.
A wise man once said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." Discover what you were made for. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.